welcome to A&E TV. Today we're joined for morning coffee by Kelly Lundberg, celebrity stylist and founder of S Academy. Good morning, Kelly.
Hello, thank you for having me in.
Thank you for joining us. And to kick things off, talk us through your morning routine.
I love mornings. Love mornings. Mornings are my thing, and I'm pretty sacred and pretty ritual about what I do in the morning. So I wake up anytime between 5:30 and 6. I will have a hot water with lemon, always. That's my morning get start. And then it will be followed by reading my desire statement, which is my intentions that I'm going to be going through, affirmations. I will do exercise, I'll have a green juice, and I will get on with my day. Not necessarily all in that order. The green juice might be after the exercise, but I'm also pretty religious about that. And I feel if I get a really strong start in the morning, then it sets me up for the day.
Okay, great. Yeah. And talk us through your first fashion memory.
I was thinking about this. My first fashion memory, I think, was really in the early days. So I'm originally from Edinburgh in Scotland. In the 80s was when I grew up. So my earliest fashion memory would have been waiting for those big catalogues to be delivered every, I guess, the spring, and then it would come in, because they only had 2 a year, I think it was. I think Kay's Gratin catalogue. I don't know. Yes, that's it. And I remember, like, it just used to be the best time, because I would like flick through it, and you know, I had no pocket money, of course, but my shopping list, and I guess it would have been like, I guess now those that have access to the internet at 8, 9 and 10 are like filling up their shopping carts on ASOS or whatever. Mine was going through and tearing out bits of the magazine and picking out what did I want to buy with my pocket money. So that was probably one of my earliest fashion memories.
You're in the process of writing your second book. What can we expect to see from that?
The second book, well, the first book was very much about entrepreneurship in the Middle East. I was 29 when I released it, and it was self-published, and it was just an idea that I had about sharing stories of other successful entrepreneurs in the region, because I had found that other entrepreneurs had inspired me in my business, and I wanted to share their story. So in some ways that was a little bit easier, because I was retelling, I guess, other people's stories in my own words. Whereas this book, called De-Seed the Lemon, is actually going to be about 60 to 70% autobiography. So De-Seed the Lemon is really a metaphor in life for raising standards and paying attention to detail. So it's how you can show up as the best version of yourself. So it's really an experience going through, sharing my story on how you can show up as the best version of yourself through the experiences of style, health, morning rituals, routines, and really just choosing to pursue your dreams, which is everything that I've done and everything that I share with all the girls in the S Academy, and really inspire them to take action. That's the big goal for the book.
Now, what style rules do you like to break?
I really like that question. If you'd asked me maybe 5 years ago, I would have said I would never break the style rules of wearing sneakers. But I mean, I don't know if that's even a rule now, because it just goes with everything. I have to say, I would never have thought I would have been the type of person to do ankle socks and open-toed shoes, but it looks so cute. So I really like that. So I have broken that style rule, which I've always said would be a no-no, but I like it. You know, and I guess old school people would always be, oh, you can't wear navy with black, and I actually really like that as a combination as well. So that would be another style rule. I mean, throw them all out the window really, but there are a couple that I'm like, no, I'll embrace those. Okay. One style rule I will never break is you will never, ever, ever find me in a pair of Crocs, ever. Or any of my clients for that matter. Okay. Yeah, my sister has 3 children, and I'm like, if I ever come home and see any of them in Crocs, they're like little boys. I'm like, no, they never can be.
And what about tips to shopping smartly? What would you recommend?
With my clients, it really is quite, you know, it's constructive, but it's also quite, it's the word I would use would be, you know, specific. So really, sort of when it comes to shopping rules, I always say start with the basics. So really, before you go shopping to buy things, make sure you've gone through your wardrobe, because then you'll have really identified maybe what gaps that you have, what you should be looking for, and really just getting kind of inspiration. Like I say, you wouldn't go and just buy the first car you see. And okay,
Yeah.
there's a massive price difference between buying
Yeah.
a car and going out and buying clothes. But when you're investing in a wardrobe and you're buying things that you want to last, that's not just a wear once and throw
Yeah.
away, then you want to think about how can you mix and match them, how can you make the most in your wardrobe. And often it's not that we don't have enough clothes, it's just we don't have enough inspiration on how we can wear them. So look at what you've got existing, maybe look online to get some ideas of what's missing, and then how you can actually pull it all together in the end. So if you have that list, it makes it more specific, and then you're just not buying things left, right and centre.
Okay, and in what ways would you suggest editing our wardrobes?
So editing your wardrobe, it's a really good question, because you could edit as often or as little as you like. I always say have a really good tidy in your wardrobe every 6 months. So that might mean that you might not throw away loads of things, but just editing, a hem might have come down on your trousers, maybe you've lost a button, maybe that's looking a bit tired now, so I would say tidy your closet every 6 months. Stuff goes everywhere. You might have bought some new pieces that you can mix and match with existing pieces, but you didn't think about them because they're in different places in the wardrobe. So if you were to tidy and organise your wardrobe, and I just watched the Marie Kondo, The Magic of Tidying Up on Netflix.
This is on Netflix. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, without going into it in too much detail, certainly from the wardrobe perspective, and even as a stylist, there's still things you can pick up. Like I was always doing the folding method, but even just other ways to reinvent space issues if you have, or just even, and I'd also seen an article online that there's been a massive surge in the US in storage containers.
Oh, really?
Or storage and compartments. In America they have these stores that do all the, here I think we just have IKEA really, that kind of does that sort of thing. But by organize it, then you have clarity. And then you know what's missing. And I really do believe that whole, if you haven't worn it for 6 months. Like, I don't believe in that, because also in this climate, you could wear things maybe not for 18 months because you haven't been somewhere cold. So I would say, she always says, does it spark joy? Does it make you feel good as one? But also, is it relevant now? It doesn't have to be a really fashionable piece, but, some things spark joy. Yeah. But they look horrendous on, or they're really dated. So I would really say there's got to be that fine balance between it.
Okay. And in what ways do you think sustainability has affected our shopping habits?
It's actually twice I've been asked this question this week. Yeah, really. And I have to say, for me personally, it's not had a massive effect. Only because I think I'm helping clients reinvent themselves when it comes to styling. So for me, I wouldn't say, I've seen stores do them, H&M, Mango, they've had their collections. But I would definitely say, it's not something that clients would come to me and say, I only want to buy things that are sustainable. Or, I only want to look for this, or I'm really aware of this. I have to be really honest, it's not something that's been, that is to the forefront yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think has been your biggest career success so far?
I think there's probably been quite a few, because I started my business young. So I've had a long time to get things right and wrong. I would say probably, starting a business and still being in business after 10 years, because there's a huge stats on, businesses failing within the first 3 years. So that in itself is a really big accomplishment. I won my first business award when I was 26. So that was, the foundations of, other people believing in me as well, that it gave me a sense of confidence. I guess when I was 29, I released my first book, which was The Success in the City. Then building a business to 6, coming soon 7 figures, which started from scratch, a little idea that was on a napkin to now being, reality and inspiring the next generation of fashion stylists through the S Academy, which, is who I mentor now. So, and even to more recently, just getting a book deal for the US. So as much as I've published, self-published, and I've had a book, I've never had a book published by a publisher, per se, that is actually going to take care of all the distribution and all the headache that I had to deal with the first time around. So, no, there's been quite a few.
And what's the motto that you live by professionally?
I would always say, or my goal every day is to always inspire a minimum of 5 people to take action. So whether that's through my social media account, or whether that's doing a keynote, or maybe one of my stylists or business owners that I'm mentoring.
Okay.
So I would say, because by inspiring others to action, it has more of a effect,
Yeah.
it has a ripple effect. So I would say that's what I live by, and that really gives me my purpose of why.
Okay. And what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face?
Oh, my biggest challenge. I think in the early days, it was very much finances, as most small businesses are. How to get the finances, but you will always find a way if it's something that you're really passionate about to get the finances. And then I would say probably laterally it's been identity. So moving from being a stylist for 12 years to now being to now having an online business where the skills are quite different to marketing.
Yeah.
Whereas much more when it was styling, it was word of mouth because I had to be here. Whereas it's now it's learning about all digital platforms and how I can market to the world, basically. So really stepping into that shoes of a business owner with a business that is now not necessarily just in the mall and speaking to people. It's much bigger.
And what do you still want to achieve? I'm sure there's a lot.
Oh, I was thinking about that. What do I still want to achieve? For me, it is really just more, inspiration and inspiring people is one thing, but I really want to inspire people to take massive action. Whether that's to pursue their dreams and pursue a career in fashion styling or starting their business because that makes them feel fulfilled. Yeah. I would say something along those lines. Potentially through the book, it's going to have a bigger impact where it will inspire people to action. So whether it's change their daily routine or maybe look at their wardrobe differently or just feel different. Because when you feel different, you show up different. When you show up different, you attract different energy and good things happen.
Okay. And who's been your professional mentor or your inspiration?
Oh, I would say latterly, without a doubt, it's been Blake. Blake has been my friend for many years through a love of personal development, and then I would say when he moved back and launched his business here, it made it much easier that we could communicate from a business to business perspective. So I would say without a doubt someone that has seen my potential and nurtured me through it to get me to where I am, for sure.
This is obviously a very big one for you. How would you describe your personal style?
I had to Google this because I was like, I don't know how to describe my personal style because I didn't have just one word, because my style is very mood dependent, very mood dependent. So then I was like, is my style undefined or is my style a mix? No, a mix, just mixed. So I would say it would be one of those ones because it really depends on which hat I'm wearing. Because sometimes if I'm at home and I'm mentoring, it could be quite casual. If I'm going to be in the mall and meeting people, if I'm going and doing a keynote in front of 100, 200 people, it would be quite different. So that maybe be quite classic, so. Question mark? Even that's 2 words. A mix. Okay. Mood dependent. There are still all 2 words.
And what do you say no to?
Great question. And I wondered in which context you meant that.
Any?
And how I took that is, what do I say no to? I say no to a lot of work now. People will ask me to do things and I've got a lot better at saying, I'm afraid I can't do that. Whereas certainly in my journey in the first, I would even go as far as saying the first 11 to 12 years, I'm like, yes, I can do that. Don't know how to do it. Yes, I can do that. And I think in the early days, it's really important that you do say yes to find your feet. But it does get to a point where, people will ask me every day, I'll have emails in, can you come to this restaurant and try this out, or can you come and speak here, or can you come and do this? And I've really got to pick the things wisely in order to have a better impact.
Okay, and are you reading a book at the moment?
I've got a couple on the go. So I listen to a lot of Audible books, and the one I'm listening to on Audible just now, which I was really excited about, was Robin Sharma's 5 AM Club. Okay. I don't know if it's quite lived up to my expectations. I'm also reading, and then at night time I'll read an actual book to disconnect from social media and my phone, and I am reading Own Your Day by Aubrey Marcus.
Okay.
So I'll give you the names of those, but
Cool.
yeah, I'm quite enjoying that too.
Okay. And for our final question, how would you like the world to remember you?
Really, I would say to have had an impact on other people, to have got them to do something that was maybe out of their comfort zone.
Thank you so much, Kelly. It's
You're
been
most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.